Awesome. We are live tonight. My name is Kenya Alou with the Dream Team, and I'm super excited to be here. I love Monday nights. I love getting to connect with the team on a Hangout face-to-face and just hearing their stories and sharing it with all of you. So we are with the Dream Team, and we just have a great panel. So I love each and every one of these people, getting to know them, and some of them I've known for a while. But DS Domination is just changing lives, and it's really, this isn't hype, and this isn't the cliche term of, we're changing lives, but we really are. People's car payments are being made, and their mortgages are being made, and some people are quitting their jobs, and you're going to hear from those people tonight. So I'm not going to keep talking. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our first person. I'm going to start. I'm just going to start in order of the way I see you guys on the panel. So you guys might be a little mixed up, but I'm going to start with Travis. Travis is. I've only known him a short while, but he's blowing my mind. He is 17 years old, and I'm just going to turn it over to him and let him share his experience so far with DS Domination. He's actually been in a while. So Travis, take it away.
Thank you, Kenya. So I started in DS Domination my first month. I made $1,500, and it's just so amazing the support I had, and it's just an amazing community. I mean, our motto is helping the little guy, because that's what we're doing. We're helping everyone, and it's just been a blessing to me. And to get to know and connect with all of these people. I mean, we have such wonderful leaders, and it's just mind-blowing how the average person could literally, pick up the system and, follow the training, and boom, bang, they go through the training, and it's basically copy and paste from there, and it's just amazing, guys. I mean, if you're not in DS Domination, there's no need to hesitate. I mean, I'm 17. I swear, if I can do this, you can too.
So, Travis, you've been an entrepreneur, and you told me earlier you were born an entrepreneur. So, you've worked other businesses, you've tried other things. What about DS Domination was attractive to you?
It's quite simple, actually, because being a part of this industry for 1.5 years, I seen how everything, I got to know and gained experience of how things work, right? And the thing that's different from every other company with DS Domination is, you're making money with the product, which means you don't have to go out and recruit people. You don't need to have to spend countless hours trying to learn all of this marketing material, building squeeze pages, recruiting people, pitching family and friends. All you do is follow a simple method. And, to be honest with you, I have a downline. And, I have about 3 other 17-year-olds with me. And, I was doing a test, and I wanted to see how this would work for them. And I'll tell you guys, I mean, a couple of these kids passed me. It's just amazing. And, back to what Kenya was saying about how I was born an entrepreneur, I at the age 10, or you could say 8, I did a lot of excavating with my stepdad, and I started businesses as well on the side. But, I remember how backbreaking it was to operate the heavy machinery. I have some back problems from it, and it made me realize that people deserve better, and people deserve an opportunity that works. So DS Domination, look no further. You're home.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Travis, for sharing. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in Vegas.
Oh, for
Very
sure.
much so. Timothy, you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Awesome. Tim Cantages. Love this man's energy. I just want you to just give it to us.
Sure. Well, my story is that I have a bachelor's degree in music. I am a media composer, and we are jack of all trades, but I say master of some because uh, there's a certain area that we are experienced in. So, well, I got a music job out here as a music director for a church here in Dallas, where I'm at currently, and a couple something that I just learned that if are still there, it seems like everybody's frozen. Can anybody hear me? Okay, I can see some movement. I'm going to keep going on. If it disconnects, it disconnects. But I am I still am dabbled in with a lot of music, composing and things like that, writing songs, arrangements. But the music director part was not just for me. It was so stressful to the point, and I can handle a lot of stress, but it was so stressful to the point where I had to just drop out from being music director, and I was also doing a part-time business with a legal shield, and I pretty much have faded away from that. But uh, last year, I'm just reflecting. Last year at this time, what I was being taught was, and I love the company very much, and no hard feelings, but I was just being taught to knock on doors and make phone calls. And it was until I think last December, where Freddie Hidalgo, I think all of us know him. If you don't get connected with him, he is an awesome guy. Freddie Hidalgo had introduced me to DSD, and the reason why I absolutely just love DS Domination is, first of all, I don't have to pick up the phone to try to sell to people. I don't have to walk on doors and people sicking their dogs after me to sell something. And I'm going to say this, but I don't mean this in a condescending way. Um, DSD is not an average business platform, and it's not for average people. And that's like I said, I'm not condescending on that. What I mean by that is that I believe that everybody that joins DS Domination is not average. Why? Because we're not looking just to make an average income. We're not looking just to be average people, but we're looking to be excellent in our business, excellent in the lifestyle that we choose. And this is how I feel about DSD, that it's just not just average. And I do not see myself as average either. So being with an elite group such as the Dream Team and of course DSD and with you fine people, it just makes a recipe for just a lot of success. And I've been going on I think my 5th month now. I reached Power Seller as of last month. I'm a Bronze Power Seller, and I may go to Silver Power Seller this month. So I am just really beyond excited about DSD, where it's going, how we're growing, and just to be a part of this ride is just so awesome. I would not just get off this train anytime soon. I want to ride it to the top of the mountain. So I go DSD, go Dream Team.
Awesome. So you're definitely not average.
Right.
You're awesome. I love your energy.
None of us are average.
No, and one of the things I try to explain to people when I'm talking with them about joining DS Domination is I really believe anybody can do it. Is money going to fall in their lap if they sign up for their $20 and just do nothing? No. So it will take, if there's a learning curve, it will take some hard work and some dedication, but you don't have to have any kind of major skill set in order to make this happen. So it's kind of like it's an equal opportunity. It's just up to you whether or not you're going to take it. And I just love this business. And I love to see people take action, and every single person on this panel is an action taker. And we're gonna go on to Silas. He's next. You there, Silas?
Yeah, I'm here. How's everybody doing?
Silas actually lives here in El Paso with us, and we're getting to know him better and better. It's been awesome. His mom and I are friends as well. She's actually a member of the Dream Team too. So Silas, go ahead and share your experience and how long you've been in and what you're doing.
Okay. I've been in since just about the end of September, early October. I started off very strong. I mean, I just started making about $700 profits right off the bat. Of course, sometimes my daily job got in the way for a while, but I started picking up again. It's definitely been a good experience. I could tell you that there's been times where DS Domination and eBay had just made enough money just to, make it through the rest of the week to the next payday. So at that pace, it helped huge. Of course, I always keep on listing and keep on putting up listings so that I can keep on just chasing my goal at the end of the day, which is basically leaving my job so that I can give this 110% on top of the other 110% I already give at night, after I get out of work. It's been a great experience. I wouldn't choose anything else. I mean, this is something that I'm glad that fell, the opportunity that came my way. For a while there, it's definitely been a good thing, and I'm enjoyed, and I am glad that I have a good team, like the people that are here on this panel, and I just appreciate it all.
Awesome. Well, we love having you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going, and then at the end, I just want to hear from everybody again, okay? But Silas, you're doing a great job, and I can't wait to see where you are in 6 months from now.
Thank you.
Okay, Jason, can you hear me? Are you there? I can't hear you. I think you might be muted.
Okay, there we go. It took me a second for the screen to catch up, so.
No, perfect. So, Jason, tell us about who you are, what you do, and what you're doing in DS.
Well, I come from a mortgage background. I spent 13 years doing that and had run into, or I guess had worked with enough people in that industry to where I decided not to do that anymore. And so I took a step back last October, and it took me a couple months of looking around at different things. In January, I think I found like a Craigslist ad or something about DS Domination. Watched the initial video. I wasn't really too sure. I mean, I've seen so many things, and it raised, it piqued my interest, but raised a lot of questions. So I think after about a week after that, I ended up watching one of Trent's videos on YouTube, and went ahead and decided to give it a shot. So that's kind of how I started. I would love to say that I got as fast of a start as some of these other guys seem to have gotten, especially like Timothy and stuff. But my major holdback was just always kind of questioning the system. Not so much questioning the system, but not necessarily following the training exactly. And if I had any advice for anybody, I mean, definitely DS Domination works. By all means, it works. There's proof, and there's plenty of proof. But if I had any advice to give anybody, it's follow the training. I mean, it's the more I've gotten away from that, the more that's hurt, sales numbers and stuff like that. So that's kind of the major thing there. And then, so far, This month, I think I'm at 2 or 3 sales a day right now on eBay, at least. Actually, I'm coming off. I went ahead and got the store subscription that I shouldn't have gotten, and so I dealt with that last month, and that kind of hurt. But lesson learned. So yeah, this month's definitely picking up and getting better. Another struggle that I had in the beginning, because I had been out of work for a long time, and I know there's probably people watching this that are in similar situations, I really didn't have the resources to even really start shipping stuff. So, I asked a brother of mine, I borrowed some capital from him and basically started making it happen that way. I got my first sale the first day in, and I was like, oh God, how am I going to ship this $150 thing? So I kind of dealt with that in the beginning, and that kind of made things a little interesting in February. I actually showed one of my old landlords what I was doing, and he's like, well, I don't know if that could really work. And I said, well, you know what? I said, do you have an eBay account? And he was actually over at my house, and he said, yeah, sure. So I logged in. He logged into his eBay account. I put 2 listings up. One was a weed eater, and I'm not going to tell you where it came from or anything, but he has sold probably $4,000 worth of this one item in the last couple of months, and he's on board. So he's coming in and definitely doing some stuff with me. So it's been good. Wow,
that's awesome. Jason, you brought up a few really great points. A lot of times we start and we get into the training and we start feeling pretty confident, like we know what we're doing, and so we don't really watch training weekly, or we don't refresh ourselves. We just kind of do, and we don't even realize that we're veering off the right path. And so I always tell people, if your sales are starting to go down, or you're starting to realize you're not making sales, that's when it's time to watch another webinar and make sure that you haven't, gotten off the right path, the straight and narrow, too far, because that will affect the sales. So, those challenges in the beginning with the PayPal holds, and I'm actually gonna let Susan explain what those are, because she does such a great job. She made a video about it and everything. But that is a real challenge for people, and your solution was to borrow money, and that worked for you, and there are a ton of other ways around that for people to make it work, and we can kind of bounce some ideas off at the end of this too. But thank you for sharing, and I love that you just hijacked your friend's account and showed him that it worked. That's classic. I mean, that's awesome. Love it.
Yeah. He's definitely a believer now. So no doubt.
Yikes! Sorry, guys. Yeah. So let's go on to Susan. Susan, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay, so we can hear you and see. So, this is Susan Whitaker, and she's going to share her story. I'm really proud of this lady right here for what she's been able to accomplish. She really had some goals when she started, and the woman did it. I mean, she just did it. So go ahead, Susan. I'm going to let you take it over.
Wow, I'm not sure where to start. Well, I think sometimes my goals are higher than what I can attain. But when I started out, I decided in the beginning I was going to make this work. I saw the vision, I saw the evidence, and when I watched the video with my husband, the 6-minute video that Roger does for our Join Me page, my husband said, this seems really doable. And so that kind of gave me this feeling of safety, because a lot of times I'm highly driven, and so I'll kind of go off on my own little tangent sometimes. And so when he said that, it was affirming to me that this is not just some crazy idea out there that's just going to flop like so many of my other ideas, because this is like my 5th business, and one other one I made money, but it took me 2.5 years to make the money in that one that I'm making now every month in DSD after 4 or 5 months. I think I'm now in my 7th month. So, and I didn't have the great stellar start that Jason and some of the other people have had, but you know, that's okay. I was busy. I was working full time. I had 4 kids. You know, my life was demanding, and so I decided that I was going to do what I could do, and I tried to block out. I would see people say, oh, I rewatched all the pro webinars and I listed 100 items today. I would block that out of my mind and just tell myself, I'm doing what I can. And I tried to be methodical and consistent and keep my drive there. And I guarded very carefully against what I call SOS, shiny object syndrome, because it's very easy to go, somebody gets an idea, and then I go, ooh, that's good, and it's just like the dog in the movie Squirrel, and then nothing is getting done. And so I'm even now, I will get up in the morning and I'll ask myself, what is the priority? Is the priority to reach out and share DSD with other people today, or is the priority to list things today, or what is going to be my focus? And so that's how it's worked for me. And in right around 3.5, 4 months, I quit my part-time job. And I think I worked through March 25th. And so all of the month of April up until now, I've been doing just DSD, and I'm making more money than I was at my $8 an hour, 20-hour a week job. So I'm happy with that. I'd like to make more. I'm really looking forward to making more, and it's increasing. Each month is increasing. So I couldn't agree with you more, Kenya, about when I have a roadblock of what to list, I go back to the modules, because someone told me that even Roger would come to a point where he would kind of get off, and he'd have to reset back to his whatever his parameters were that he had set, and then he would be fine. And so, if Roger has to do that, who am I? So.
Right. Didn't you, when you were able to quit your job, didn't you tell me? Let's see, you increased your income. I think in April it was about $300 more than it was the previous month.
Yes, yes. It was, I forget what I made in March. I think I made, yes, in March I thought was my high point, and I made like $600 after all of my membership fees and PayPal, all my fees. And yeah, then in April I made just over 1,000, and in May I'll probably make more than that. So, yeah, it's not quite doubling, but it is getting to where it's doubling every month, and that's just eBay. That's not commission on the affiliate side at all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you are, you started out saying, I am not doing affiliate, I am just selling on eBay. And you ended up changing your mind, and you actually have some income coming in from that side too.
Yes.
And
yes.
your team told me is doing amazing on eBay.
Yes, they. Yeah, there are several. There are a couple that are doing better than me, and because I think you kind of touched on it. Somebody touched on it. I think it's almost a detriment to have skills, or if you think you know what you're doing. Like, I catch myself all the time watching the webinars going, oh, I know what he's going to say. And that is the worst possible thing, that's being unteachable. And being unteachable is death. Mm-hmm. So I try to block those thoughts off, and I try to make myself as stupid as I can to watch these modules and learn. And somebody recently told me, yeah, I rewatched them, and this lady watches them twice a week, and she rewatched all the modules and took notes, and then listed items for 3 hours and sold 27 in those 3 hours. And I was like, okay, I need to get out a pen and paper and not halfway listen to these things and really take notes, because she had watched them probably hundreds of times already.
Wow. Yeah. You never, you always miss something or you always forget something. It's always good to keep going.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Susan. I want to do something a little different this time, and Jason actually gave me the idea when he was speaking. I want everyone to give their tip for somebody who's watching, who is thinking of joining. If that person joins, what is the one really good piece of advice that you wish you had done in the beginning, or that you did do in the beginning that really helped you? We'll just start again, from my right to left. So we'll start with Travis.
Thank you. Yeah, guys. A really good tip I could give you is to, again, like he said, watch the training, right? Watch the training, because that's gonna, that's it's gonna you're gonna take off, right? And another tip is to keep moving forward, keep progressing, don't lose sight of your goals, and write them down on paper. And it's just, I'm sorry I stutter a lot, but I'm just so excited to be a part of this community. And what are the benefits of you joining the Dream Team? What are some of the benefits? There's a lot of benefits, but one of my main focuses is I joined just recently, and I mean recently. And the benefit was I felt so welcomed. Great community. It's not just Roger helping you out, but we're a huge community, and everyone's helping each other out. And that's something that's far more valuable than anything, is connecting with people and knowing there's always someone who's gonna be there to help you. If you stumble across a problem, there's gonna be someone right next to you, and they're gonna build you up. And I mean, I have so much to say, but just to sum it all up, you have to take action. You have to take action. I mean, I'm 17. I have a 21-year-old who, he never did any home-based business. He never, when I first told him, he was like, oh, probably a scam, right? So anyways, when I made my first sale, I went crazy. It was so intense. It was life-changing, because, I mean, yeah, my first sale was $21, but the thing is, guys, that a company I was previously a part of, right? It wasn't until 5 or 6 months. It took me 5 or 6 months to finally make $20, and it was essentially because no one was connecting with me. And it's bringing that idea back of, we're a team, we're here for you. And back to the 21-year-old, he fired his boss. And I'm going to end on that note. The Dream Team is the team.
That's awesome. He fired his boss. Oh, you're going to have to invite him on a Hangout one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
And to be so young, oh my goodness, if I had your mindset when I was your age, I can't even tell you where I'd be right now. So I want to just tell you, Travis, you have actually been a part of the Dream Team since you started. You just didn't know it. So we're glad that you found your home, and so excited to just keep getting to know you and watch you and your story. And we all love to help each other here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, and guys, be sure to take action, because it all comes down to that as well. Take action.
Absolutely. Timothy.
Yes, well, I have a couple of things that I learned, and I still have to remind myself of every day. The first thing is, when you're coming into Ds Domination, we have to know what we want. We really have to know the reason why we're doing this. Not just we're not in it just to make money. I mean, anybody can go out and just make money, but what's the reason behind you wanting that extra income? You just want to spend more time with your wife. You want to spend more time with your kids. For me and my wife of nearly 3 years, we're planning on those things. We don't have kids yet, but we want that. So it's a responsibility for me, and that's on my mind all the time. I want to make money not for myself. In fact, it's the least is for myself. It's mainly for her. I want to give to more ministries in my church, orphanages. I have a heart for orphans, widows, people that are in need. So those are the things that really drive me. So when you're coming into DS Domination, think of those things that really do drive you, and write them on your goals, and make sure that you visit them constantly, because sometimes negativity comes in maybe a couple times a day, maybe constantly throughout the day. And if you're not reminding yourself of the reason why you're doing that, you may be the only one that sees the good in DS Domination. You may have your whole crowd of people around you just throwing in negativity. Then, of course, after a while, you may have to separate yourself from all that. But just know what you want. That's number one. Number two is don't be afraid to make money. When you just come in, Roger will guide you through the trainings, and he'll say, well, like a minimum of a $3 profit to undercut. And sometimes I feel like when I started, I would say that to myself, well, I just want to make that $3 profit. I want to make sure that people can see that my price is the lowest, and just settle for that $3 profit. And that's good. But Roger will say minimum. So go for that $5 profit, $6 profit, just to start off, maybe even $10 profit. That's one thing I wish that I could have done. And the other thing is just to be patient. Like Jason, I had to work my way up too because of my situation. See, everybody has their own backgrounds, their own situations. People have different responsibilities and jobs. Maybe you can't even list 2 hours a day. Maybe you can only list like 45 minutes a day. But the thing is, you have to make sure you plant your seed every day. And I mean, just don't let those little things distract you. I think we had a training like 2 weeks ago or something, Kenya. You may correct me on that, but it was about how to be more productive and just blocking out time where you can just put in more productivity. I am currently reading a book by Dan Kennedy as well called The No BS Time Management for Entrepreneurs, and I really recommend that for everybody here listening. It's really, really awesome. It's really helped me because we just have to make sure that we put our value, understand what the things that we value are. And like I said, that's if you know what that is, if it's your family, if it's for giving to other people, then you'll understand that, well, maybe taking that phone call from my friend while I'm at work, while I'm listening, is not so important anymore. But all these things these are things that I've experienced, and all of them are equally important. But for me, I'm a risk taker, and sometimes I just like to push things, and I have to remind myself every day to just be patient. I love what Susan said, that she said it's not doubling, but it's getting up there. It's growing, it's growing, and it's growing. The next thing you know, you have a whole garden full of just good things. So just don't be afraid to make money. Know what you want out of DSD, and be patient. It'll come.
Love that. I mean, all so important. And I love how you talked about knowing what you want, and knowing that you want to make a lot of money isn't enough. Why, like you said, why do you want to make that money? Well, because I want to go on vacation. Well, why do you want to go on vacation? What does that vacation mean to you? Well, what are you going to do on that vacation? Well, I'm going to play with my kids. Okay, so it's about your kids. It's about making memories with them. It's about, so you've got to dig beyond that just, I want to make more money because then I can do what I want. But why do you want to do what you want? The memories, the giving, there's just, the list will go on and be different for everybody. I love that. Dream boards are a great way to remember those things. Get a picture of the orphanage you want to support and stick it on that board. Whatever.
I'd like to add something in. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it. I just see my wife, and I just look at her. I just see how really important she is to me, and I just want to make sure that I can provide for her in the best way that I can, not only emotionally, not only physically, spiritually, but financially. I want to make sure that she's taken care of. So she's my baby, and I just it was at a point last year. I was so upset, and I was driving in my car. And she passed me on the freeway in her car. We were coming home from church, and she just smiled at me. And I just started crying. I cried. I said, God, I was going through a hard time with the business. And I said, God, I can't even provide for my wife. It's a hard thing to go through. And so every day when I get up, she is on my mind, and I'm trying to make sure that I continue to do those things that I even talked about. Like I said, I have to remind myself every day. But that's just an example of knowing what you want, the reason why you want it. Thank you, Kenya.
That's awesome. I cannot add to that at all. Thank you for just sharing your heart, really. Love it. Okay, Silas.
Okay. I guess some of the things I would say is, some of the advice I would give is just for me what I did is I set a long-term goal, and then I set daily goals to try to obtain that main goal at the end of it all. So for me, if it's listing 5 items a day and connecting with 2 people, then that's my daily goal. I would say just keep listing, keep connecting, and meet a daily goal so it doesn't seem overwhelming, and then at the end of the day you'll end up reaching that final goal that you're looking for, whatever it may be, is family time or money or etc., whatever. Some of the advice I would give is don't be scared to ask for help, and some of the ways to ask for help is go back to the training, connect with some of your team here in the Dream Team, and building success would be endless if you just set those goals and just stick to them.
You bring up a very good point with goals. You said to set a goal and to stick to it. And I think that's so important. And your goals don't have to be what anyone else's goals are. It doesn't have to be what your sponsor's goals are. It doesn't have to be what what someone you sponsored their goals are. They have to be your own goals, and they have to be attainable, so you know what your life looks like. The only person you have to beat is yourself. That's the only person you're in competition with, not anyone else, because you know what your needs are and you know what your life looks like. So that's great advice, Silas. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jason, I know that when you were talking, you did touch on a lot of this, and that's why we're doing this, because it was such a great idea. But do you have anything else that you want to add?
Oh yeah, I got plenty. I made enough mistakes in the beginning to figure it out. So yeah, I mean, definitely following the training is key, and I mean that's, if you don't, you're asking for problems. As far as I like what Silas said about goals. Having a goal and supporting that with daily actions that support that goal is also critical. I did find myself in the beginning wondering, like, man, I don't know how some of these people list 40 or 50 items a day. I can get like 6 done, and it takes me all day. It drives me crazy. I'm trying to. I'm very much a perfectionist when it comes to that stuff. So it takes me like 10 times longer. So that, and then one mistake I definitely feel like I made in the beginning, and when I went through the initial training, or watched Trent's video and stuff, and then I watched some more of the DSD videos, and part of the pro training, and then whatever. Literally the first night I went through all of the pro training and all of the elite training in one night. I feel like that was actually very bad for me, partially because it's really built as a system to work you up through all of it. And if you jump too far ahead, you're trying to jump to the end before you even got your foundation done. So, in that, I think that's probably one of the biggest things is when it comes to the training, it's not just about watching the training and following the training, but following that whole process through. The pro training it's like if you were building a house, the pro training is your foundation. If you don't have that right, then stepping into the next step is not going to help you with anything else. So one thing that I did is I started listing, bigger profit margin items from elite mixed in with the smaller stuff from pro, and not much of the smaller stuff from pro, because I'm looking at all the elite money and I'm going, I want that. Well, you can't do that with one feedback. So that would be my other thing, that, take the steps, take it one step at a time. I really kind of wish I would have done 50 or 60 sales in pro before even touching elite. It would have helped me get to top rated seller a lot faster. I'd be there if I had 100 transactions right now. So, that's my next thing. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, foundations are crazy important in everything, in life, in business. I mean, if you don't have the foundations down, you're not going to be able to build on anything. So that's so true. Susan, what are your last words?
Well, I was jotting things down as I was listening, and I think the biggest thing, this affects a lot of people, is, and Roger said it in a webinar recently, don't think about it. And because a lot of times, and different people go in different avenues of thinking. Like sometimes we look at an item, we don't want to list it because we wouldn't buy it. And, because it's a very binary decision. Did it sell on eBay? Was there a profit? If the answer is yes, list the item. And it's just very simple. And so a lot of times I'll find myself going down a lot of rabbit trails, thinking about it, trying to figure out the perfect way to do it, the right way to do it. And what I found was that led me to a lot of fear and the lack of action. And the only antidote to fear is action, making a decision and taking action. And so I think the biggest thing is don't think about it. And then I also wrote down to decide that you're going to believe and trust that the system works, because there's no other business system that has 80% of the people making money. There's nowhere, anywhere. I've looked. If 80% of the people are making money and I'm not making money, then that's me. And so I have to look at that and evaluate that and decide that I'm going to make it work, because there's going to be fear that comes. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be a buyer that is unhappy for some flaky reason, or there's going to be PayPal where you don't get your money right away. There's going to be all kinds of things, and the only way to write it out is that decision and that belief that this works and I'm going to make it work. I'm not just going to throw in the towel just because something didn't go my way. And and I have to admit, I've had a couple days like that where I want to throw a little hissy fit about a little thing, and it's a huge defeat. So as easy as this is to do, the hardest part is the mental battle, and to fight those thoughts, because we are faced with it with all the naysayers around us. We're faced with it with our own doubt and our own fear. You know, there's so many scams out there that a lot of us have been chewed up in those, and so it's really easy to fall prey to those thoughts. And so it's important to decide and believe, and then when we hear those doubts coming in our minds and our hearts, to cast them out immediately and take some kind of action step.
That's awesome. That's great advice. Does anybody have anything else that y'all want to add? Anything at all?
I got something for you. One thing that I gotta say is, if you're not already a part of DS Domination, one question to ask yourself is, how many other businesses would basically teach their competition what to do to succeed? That's definitely not something that would be typical. If you were, you know, opening a McDonald's, for instance, Jack in the Box isn't going to come in and teach you how to do it. This is, you know, all of these guys, everybody on this panel, everybody that's part of DSD and the Dream Team, we're all technically competition, but we help each other. We're all there for each other. We're all there to help each other succeed and realize, you know, get back to the training, do the right thing, you know, do what you're taught, and it works. It's definitely the right system. It definitely works, without a doubt. I mean, I can't even say enough about it, to be honest. So.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone?
Anytime.
Anyone else? All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up tonight, you guys. If you're watching this Hangout and you were invited by somebody, definitely get back to that person and ask them what the next step is to joining the Dream Team, and we will see you inside. Thank you for coming tonight, and we just appreciate every single one of you on the panel for sharing and just being real. I mean, that's what it's about. There's just too many things out there that aren't real, and that is one thing that we cannot be accused of at DS Domination. So thank you guys, and we will talk to you later.